Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing my April TBR. You may notice that I am standing again. It is because March went terribly for me. I will be posting my March wrap up and haul probably next week. I will film them the weekend this goes up. So because of that I'm taking a break, just a quick month break from the wheel, largely because of the first book that I want to finish in April, and that is Truman by David McCullough. As of filming this, which is April 2nd, I am 382 pages through. It is 992 pages, just to be clear. I am enjoying it so far, but it is dense, and I just realized I don't like wearing my glasses when I film. Ooh, stay. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way. It's dense, and that's the biggest complaint I have about it. It's well written. Truman is a fascinating man, and I'm enjoying it. I was not in the headspace to crank this thing out in March, so I didn't. Because of that, and because of the fact that I have 600 pages more, I didn't want to go into April and add another 6 books or more, as has been happening, to my TBR, particularly not when I didn't get to most of the books on my March TBR. So, number one. That said, there will be some new books popping up in this TBR. The first one being The Family... Nope. Wow. I don't know where that came from. The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk, MD. This is a nonfiction that was recommended to me by my former boss, and it has to do with trauma. I will explain this in a later video coming out around September of this year, so be on the lookout for that. But I'm going to read this and hopefully get some tips and tricks on how to cope with my trauma. Then I have Virtual War, and this is not my book, nor did this happen in my care, because I wouldn't do this. But it is by Gloria Skrzynski. This is a science fiction where guy's been training all his life, all of 14 years, very important to know this, to fight for his federation in a computer-controlled virtual war. So it's a bit Ender's Game-ish, except significantly shorter, and I'm hoping significantly less religious analogous. We'll see. But I got this lent to me, borrowed to me. Explain in the comments to me if you understand what the apparent difference is between lent and borrowed, as far as not saying I'm borrowing something from somebody else, but I lent it to them, because apparently I've been using it wrong my whole life, and I give up. I'm curious, but I give up. Anyway, borrowed it from a friend who really likes it. He enjoys reading as well, so obviously this one won't take me very long, which means that I'm hoping to get through it fairly quickly. Another one, borrowed from a friend, is Feeding You Lies by Vana Hari. Well, she is both a friend and a health coach, so I will leave her health coach information linked down below. She's fantastic. I hired her to help me not eat quite so much processed food because, in case you don't know, Americans eat almost entirely processed foods. Our diets are atrocious. Anyway, I am really curious about the whys, of why we have all these processed foods, where they came from, what exactly they do to my body, what organs they affect, why I can eat them in small quantities but shouldn't eat them very often. For example, tuna is very mercury heavy, so tone that down, that kind of stuff. And this is one of the books she recommended, so she lent it to me. And I haven't read it yet because, again, Truman, but I do really want to get to this, hopefully this weekend, because I don't want to keep her book forever. That one has to do with just the general not destigmatizing, but breaking down food labels and stuff like that. And now we get into the rest of the actual ones that left over on my March TBR, starting with Will to Murder by Gail Fechtinger with John DeSanto and Gary Waller. Again, borrowed from a friend, true crime, been to the mansion a couple of times in my life, a couple of times recently, actually. Beautiful, gorgeous house, right on the shore of Lake Superior. There's a murder there in 1977. Family is still pretty prominent in the Duluth area, and this talks about the murder and I assume the effects on the family. Yep, I'm still talking about this one. Killing the Rising Sun by Bill O'Reilly. I have had this for what, 2 months now? It's been on at least 1.5 TBRs. I'm pretty sure it's been on 2. Oops. But yeah, want to get to this one. It's nonfiction about, I don't know if it's the entire, nope, not the entire Pacific War, just starting in autumn 1944. So the last year or so of World War II, namely between the US and Japan, because by April of 1945, Germany had surrendered. Japan was still trying to fight. I have very mixed feelings, especially given what I am currently learning in Truman. But once I finish Truman, I will jump right into this because I think they'll complement each other very well. I also still want to read Bedazzled by Beatrice Small, which is a book lent to me by my cousin Erica. It's a romance set in 15th century. I don't know, 17th century, my bad. Woman gets kidnapped by Ottoman pirates and there's a romance, they fall in love. I'm hoping it's better than Bridgerton, but I'll explain that to you in my March wrap-up. Still really want to read this one, The Camelot Betrayal by Kirsten White. I read the first one, I love the first one, I'm trying to be better about reading series, so I'm hoping 4 months into the year to do some binge weekends where I binge an entire series. Falling Kingdoms is going to be one of them. It might kill me. There may be a lot of drinking. I might do a vlog. But I'm gonna finish that damn series this year. Anyway, this is a better series. It's an Arthurian retelling. This one has LGBTQ plus rep, which was hinted at the end of the first one. I love anything Arthurian retelling, so I'm really excited to get to this one, and I'm mad at myself I haven't done it yet. I also want to read City of the Plague God by Sowat Chada. It's a Rick Riordan Presents. Kid ends up basically falling into all of the problems of Mesopotamian folklore and mythology. It sounds great. Plague God sounds incredibly apropos for the moment, and it'll be a quick, easy read because it's middle grade, and I like middle grade. Still want to read Cheops by Paul West. This is a novel about ancient Egypt. Which pharaoh? I don't know. Let's see, 4th Dynasty. Cheops. Oh, there's an emperor named Cheops, because of course there is. I'm going to learn about him. Again, it's a novel, so I'm not going to strictly learn about him, but close enough. I will get to this one, The Riddle by Alison Krogan. 1, because I'm very intrigued by this series and I thoroughly enjoyed it. 2, because Abby might hurt me if I don't. I know she actually wouldn't, but she may give me some snarky side-eye if I don't read this sooner rather than later. I really want to read it. And Abby from Abby of Pelennor loves this series. It's kind of the basis for her name, her YouTube channel name, which means I need to get to this and the rest of the series. It just didn't happen in March because, again, Truman. Then, basically last, we have Istanbul by Thomas Madden, which I believe is a nonfiction, to my knowledge, and it covers Istanbul, which was once known as Constantinople, throughout most, if not all of its history. I'm not entirely sure. You'd think I would have looked at that when I looked at this the first time, but no. Let's see. Mediterranean commerce, centuries of first-hand accounts, including Alexander the Great, Constantine, Empress Theodora, Mehmed the Conqueror, Suleiman the Magnificent, and Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. So there we go. It's at the bottom, because naturally you start with the dates at the bottom. 667 BC to President Erdogan's tumultuous 21st century something. Presidency. I was fairly certain that was going to end with assassination, because the US is way too involved in these things, in anything actually, and we just decide to go and assassinate everybody. It's not pretty. Anyway, my sister chose this one for me. I got her on the phone last month, and I haven't read it. I want to read it. It sounds fascinating. I know very little about Istanbul, except for that one reference in the 2019 Charlie's Angels, which, by the way, if you're going to watch a Charlie's Angels reboot, that's the only good one. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. 2019 is the only good one. The early 2000s ones are complete shit. Anyway, I want to read this. Then, this might be a binge series too, to be honest. I'm definitely channeling Emma from Drinking Up By My Shelf, because this is 10 books. Granted, they're very short books, so this would only take me maybe a day at most, but also lent to me by my cousin Erica. They are 1980s Indiana Jones-ish books, which you can tell by the cover. Man wins, woman swoons, yay, the world is saved, kind of crap. So I'm sure they're quick, easy reads. I just have to ignore the rampant sexism and racism that I'm quite positive is going to be in them. It'll be fine. Again, there will be a lot of swearing while I read these books, I am sure. But I do want to read them because she really remembers loving them. And sometimes it's just fun to see what was being written decades before or centuries before. Why else do we read classics? I mean, really, Catcher in the Rye, anyone? Those are all the books I want to read in April. I don't know how it's April. I'm pretty sure we're still in March 2020 and people are just lying to me, which will be my mantra for the year. It's March 2020 and we're pretending that we're moving forward. Those are all the books I want to read in April. Wish me all the best of luck, because clearly March didn't go well for me. But with any luck, by May I will be doing the spinning again, which I thoroughly enjoy, and which will help me get more books read on my physical TBR. Because at the moment I've only got 7 out of 25. It's my second 25, by the way. I slowed way down, but that's okay. That's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!